Hey Matt, you just caught me in the middle of laundry day because I've had a really weird mixed up kind of couple of weeks that's involved traveling and not traveling. So a couple of housekeeping things. Firstly, over the last sort of 4 weeks, I have been making videos on my phone. While I appreciate the quality of the camera is pretty damn good even for a forward-facing camera, I have had trouble with the aspect ratio when it comes to editing, because what I didn't realize is this phone of mine films in a weird aspect ratio that's not quite 16:9. Now, however, I've figured out where the 16:9 setting is, so hopefully there'll be less editing to do. So while I've been busy, nothing of note has really happened this week, but what I have done is taken away something from the events of this past week, and one of those things was pain. In an average work day, I tend to work 8 hours with an hour lunch break and a 3-mile walk there and a 3-mile walk home. So that's a 6-mile round trip, as well as the 8 hours I'm running about like a headless chicken. I do average around 25,000 steps per shift. That's not per day, that's just per shift. So just like anyone who covers a lot of mileage, I go through a lot of footwear, and because of that, I recently ordered a new pair of boots through my employers. Great when you're moving stuff about, not so great when you're doing a heck of a lot of walking. I tend to get around this by walking to work in a pair of trainers, changing to my work boots, and then changing back from my work boots to my trainers to walk home. However, on one particularly long 10-hour shift, I was that tired and just ready to go home. I left my job and I got maybe 5 minutes down the road and realized that I'd not changed out of my boots. So I walked those 3 miles in boots that hadn't even been broken in yet, as well as doing the preceding 10 hours in them as well. And when I got home, I was in a lot of pain, kind of expected. I just looked as I had a long day. Took the boots off, there was blood. Without going into too much detail, basically the skin on both sides of my feet had basically been ripped away and obviously bled, and it was painful. So there is a bit of residual pain left, and I'm still wearing specialist plasters on both feet because they only fall off when the healing process is finished. But this is basically an example of one decision made or not made leads to a far-reaching consequence you cannot fathom. I mean, realistically, I could have fathomed that newly unbroken in boots would really kill walking, but hey, I made one mistake when I was tired and it cost me a week of pain. So even with a throwaway video with just a story involved, I like to think there is a takeaway of some description in there, and I do think that is the takeaway. Maybe consider your options a little bit more carefully instead of just making a spur of the moment decision, which could lead to blood and pain and ow. I just really say blood and pain and ow. You know, Matt, sometimes I really do question the types of content I make for this channel, because one week it can be really philosophical, the next it can be really hard hitting, and then the next week is about umbrellas or boots. I suppose that is what this channel is for, just the reflections of our inner psyche, which for me is a combination of sarcasm, puns, philosophical thinking, and just a bit of tedium. A lot of tedium. Even the tedium matters. Have a nice day. See you next week.